Are we back? Can anyone hear me? Are we back? I hate this new way of streaming. Right. I've shut the door. What Subaru fault was that, Jack? Can you hear me okay? Oh, Porrick, how's your BMW holding up in this weather? Is it broken down yet? Oh, Stephen's here. Can we see him? Will the camera let me show him? Stephen! Hey! Move the screen away. There we go, look! Stephen! Say hello to everyone, Stephen. How's my sound? Should I turn it up or turn it down? Stephen! Give him a bit of a clean. They're not BMW brakes, they're actually Brimbos, Porrick. Get it right. Oh, there we go. Up here. No, too far. Wrong way, Leon. There, no, kind of. There we go. Yeah, yeah. See me? No. There we go. Ah, can you see me all right? Sorted! There's no shield, but it's good. What did I miss? Got the DPF light on, and it's in limp mode. But you need to see if the DPF is blocked, and then you need to know why is the DPF blocked, because just finding out that it's blocked isn't really going to solve your problem. You could have EGR valve issues, you could have air leak issues, you could have all sorts. But if you get a scan tool and see what the soot levels are like on your on it, or you can even, there's special tools out there. I've got them, but they're upstairs. I'll quickly get a meter so you can see the special meters you can buy. I'll just show you the meters that I'm on about. Go bloody upstairs, man! These are the meters you can get that can actually test your DPF. You can see where it's blocked. This one is, well, they're both stupidly expensive, but this one even more so. It goes up in higher amounts. But with them, you can very easily put your pipes on there, start it, and you can see what's going on without any diagnostic tools or anything. But that'll only tell you if it's blocked. It won't really tell you what the cause of it is. I issued advice on a freelander a while ago. Appreciated the advice, but sold the car. Never guess what I would get. Good old freelander, eh? What's better? Not rubbing now. Where's everyone? What's the weather like where everyone is? Kissing it down here. Nah. Disc is on. It's looking a bit better. Which code? Jack, what have I missed? Yeah, it's raining here too. Pissing it down where everyone is apparently. Is it sunny where anybody is? Why can't I scroll up on my chat? Oh God, the settings. I can't scroll up on the chat. Which code is it, Jack? Which is summertime, yes. Gotta love it. Taking out the pins and seeing, well, this pin actually doesn't need any wire brushing, just needs re-greasing, which we will use molly grease. Sunny in Cork. Oh, well, there you go. Sunny in the US. Sun was it is dry and windy. It's just raining here. All it's doing. It's raining here. Look at that, a bit of lube in and out. Sorted. This one looks good as well. Yeah, just the lube up and we're sorted. No worries. It's always good to leave a tight brush. The mechanic said he didn't recognise the code. Which code, Jack? Lovely. Need some Loctite on these bigger bolts. Art, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Scroll up. I can't scroll up. Loctite. Good old Loctite. Beautiful day in the US. Do you have any ideas what makes the mad fluctuating all over the place on my day? What do you mean? Do you mean everything's fluctuating, or just one sensor? Because if everything's fluctuating, you could have an AC ripple problem. If everything is going mental. Again, depends on the car, depends on the sensor. Any luck with... Oh, I haven't had a chance to check yet, Arthur. Haven't had a chance to check. All I'm going to do is just basically find out what size pin goes in, and then just get a 12-volt adapter that will plug into the socket. That's all I'm going to find out. But how do you find out where the cat is on the car? Depends on your car. What you'll find is depend on your car where your manifold comes out. If it's pre-2000 or after 2006, you'll see an O2 sensor at the top, and then you'll see an O2 sensor somewhere at the bottom, and the cat's in between there. It's just a round kind of muffler shape looking. But if you depend on the year of your car, it will be in between your two O2 sensors. Yes, everything's fluctuating. Well, if everything's fluctuating, there's a possibility it could be an AC ripple problem, but you know, that's just a guess without seeing anything. If your alternator or one of your diode packs has gone on your alternator, it'll be kicking out AC, and your components won't like that. Or it could just be a loose connection in your ECU somewhere. It could be bad earth, it could be a few things, but we'd have to look at that. That's not going to be one of them things that someone's going to be able to tell you kind of over messages, unfortunately. Too much. Where are we looking now? 2004 Safira. Well, Safira's there's your problem. Is that it's a Safira. That's your problem. They have loads of problems. They tend to go on fire as well. They like going on fire. Where your radiator fan is. Just brought a fault sensor from. Good. 2008. Sorry, what's that in relation to? Oh, the cat. That, if I remember, I think the Yaris's from the top of my head, I think they're part of the manifold. So you should see the O2 sensor. Oh, camera's long around. Should see the O2 sensor when you lift up the bonnet. You should see the O2 sensor sticking out. I'm almost sure that it's part of the manifold. So it's basically right at the front of the car. If you look underneath, you'll see an O2 sensor just below where the bend is, and then your cat is in between. Is right in between them two. Okay, I told the fellow whose car. It might not be a bad earth. I'm just kind of telling you certain things it could possibly be. Please give me Leon. Give you what? I'm going to take another look at the car. Anyone know if Subaru main dealer codes are numbers only? If it's a P code or even a U code or whatever the code is, just put the code in the comments, Russell, and I'll see if I can help you. But it also depends what scan tool he was using and exactly what he was using. Because you should get an OBD2 code, a P code if there's an issue. It might be a generic code, but it'll give you an idea of basically what to look for or where to start anyway. Nah. Sorted. On. Not hitting anything. Lovely. Fucking thumb. My thumb! Only place is saying on the manifold is another place. Huh? One place is saying on the manifold, another. Like I said, if you just look between, find your 202 sensors and look between there and there's your cap. Any DIY tools for finding leaks? Well, basically, if it's pressurized system, if your system is still pressurized, and it's a leak, just get some washing liquid and water and go on. You'll see the bubbles. It's not great, but you'll see the bubbles. But if there's no pressure in the system, then you're not going to find anything. Or if you get somebody to pressurize the system with a dye, and then you can get a UV light and you can see where the leak is from a dye as well. So that's a couple of ways of doing that. There's no numbers. There's no letters, just numbers. Yeah. I think it was an expensive reader. Well, what is the what's the letters or the numbers or whatever? We'll see what we can do. On the Yaris, the cat is part of the exhaust coming off the manifold. Yeah, I thought it was too. I thought it was. Just look for the O2 sensors and you will find the cat. Cat will become a player. Ah! Buttering up the old brake pads. Lovely. That's it. Stick it on the disc. Turn the bracket racing, you know? Why does it always do that? Try that a million times, it never happens. $240 for the cat then. That must be a spurious one. That doesn't sound like a main dealer price for a cat. Hi, King Leon. I'm good, Mike. How are you? The aftermarket cats, they're not good. It's up to you, but you might find if you buy an aftermarket cat, you'll be replacing it in a year or two. So it's up to you, but I wouldn't. But I just put new batteries in this, and why ain't it working? Oh, strobe light! But it's not working as a friggin' light. It may not be the cat, but the O2 sensors. Yeah, that's a possibility. What code are you getting? You getting a lean code? You getting an O2 code? But if you're replacing your cat, you really need to replace your O2 sensors at the same time. Because they're not going to be great. You know? It's expensive when that sort of stuff goes wrong. Do you know what code you're getting? Because it could just be a heater code for your O2 sensors, or it could be a lean code for your cat, but that could also still be your O2s. Wind this bad boy back. I've actually done a video on how to figure out if it's your O2 sensor in cat or cat. Yeah, Jack, you can email me. The email's in my videos, and I'll see what I can do. Yeah, did you fix the push bikes too? Yeah, did you fix push bikes too? Well, I suppose I could, but I don't do it as a main thought every day. Got me airline. And we can push back the piston. Ooh, she's right. No. Going back, which is good. This is a rusty. Nope. This one's not rusty. You're okay. How many people are going to moan at me for leaving the caliper like that, even though the handbrake cable is holding it? The bottom arm tool you have, is it any good for working off a jack? The hockey stick, the blue hockey stick, is it? I suppose it depends how high you have the car jacked up, because when you pull that down it tends to go down quite a long way, and normally you might be hitting the ground first before you actually it's any good to you, so it might not work off the jack. I've never done it, so I can't say. How easy was that? Lovely. sorted. That can always be a bit of a nightmare. Dig a hole, I think so. Don't forget to take the brake reservoir cap off. Yeah, it's already done, but yes. Yes, always good to take the reservoir cap off first. Now, we're getting there. Thank you, the mechanic. Why are you watching Scotty Kilmer? What do you mean? Hi Leon, what could be making this fault keep happening on my ECU P612 generic lamp L control circuit malfunction? I'd have to look that one up. It could possibly be if it's an alternator issue. Just because your alternator is charging doesn't mean your alternator is good. And I've done a video on that. You could still have a someone's just come in. You could have a AC ripple problem. So yeah, don't mean it's good just because it's charging. What do I think of Scotty Kilmer? Is he a good mechanic? Scott is the man. Scott is the man. Rev up your engines. Now that's it. Done. Good. That's all I've got to say about that. Now, any questions? Oh, is that as far as it'll go this way? Oh no. We're okay. We're okay. We have to keep looking up here. Put that down a bit so that to look as high. There we go. Now where are we? I've seen your video on the taking the glow plugs replaced. I've quoted €1,000 for my glow plugs and fuel pressure sensor. What does that price sound like? If it's the glow sensing heater plugs in Ireland, they're €1,000 for 4. They're €250 each for the good ones. So pressure sensor is off the top of my head. So for that price, I don't think it's the fuel sensing heater plugs, because the ones I priced up for the good ones, I have priced up cheaper ones. I think they're about €180 each, but they were no good. So the €250 ones is the ones that I would trust, but that's €1,000 for 4. So yeah, stupid. How come you ended up over there? Because I was only like 12 or 11 when my parents decided to move over, so I said I'll come with them, you know? So that's basically what happened there. backlight stays on. Where are we looking now? Our battery light stays on when I start the car, but if I turn the engine off and back on again, the light goes out. Well, the first thing I'd be doing is checking your system properly, you know, getting it properly checked, make sure the AC ripple is good, make sure it's actually charging under load, and yeah, I'd be doing that first. And then you can check, you know, for voltage drops and stuff on your lines, and yeah. Hi Liam, what's the best brand of hand tools? Well, that's too difficult to say because I basically use them all. Anything with a lifetime guarantee, you can't go wrong. Let's put it that way. Because all the top brands, they're pretty much the same quality. I know some of them have maybe decided to move to China now and stuff like that, but you're still getting a lifetime guarantee. So as long as you've got a lifetime guarantee, to me, it wouldn't really matter. I know Halford's do. Everyone's telling me about Halford Advanced sets. It's got a lifetime guarantee. But then some people say it doesn't on the ratchets, but the ratchets are not fine ratchets. What you really want, if you're going to get a ratchet, whether it's lifetime guarantee or not, is you want a really fine tooth ratchet. You can hear that, you know, so basically in tight areas, you can turn. The more teeth, the better. I don't know what this one's got. Maybe 80 or 100, but yeah, the more tooth, the better. I wouldn't really go anything below 80, I wouldn't go for in a ratchet. But then you'll pay for it, so, you know. It's catch-22. You get what you pay for. When's the van ready? I don't know when the van's going to be ready. Whenever I get more money, I save up and then something else always happens. Hurry up and finish the job. Job's finished. It's done. Severa wasn't there a recall on them for going on fire? Yeah, there was a recall on them for going on fire, I think, but still some of them didn't get caught and stuff like that. I'm in Ireland. 60 tooth. I personally wouldn't use a 60 tooth ratchet. Now, if it's like a half-inch ratchet and you're outside, you know, you're not inside a tight engine bay, yeah, no problem, you'll get away with a 60 tooth ratchet. But when you're in tight, confined areas, 60 tooth ratchet just isn't good enough. This one is a Facom ratchet. But again, you know, compared to the cheaper ratchets, these are very expensive, but they're very, very good, so. Speak of the devil. Hello. Are you watching me? Alright, because someone's just turned around and said, hurry up because your missus will be ringing you soon. And you're just ringing me. Okay. But they're not going to know that. Well, there's a few. But why can't you just watch RTE or something? Isn't it on there? Would you buy what? Oh, I don't know what to say to you. Has Sean got his computer on? Yeah, well, just go on there. Find it. Live streaming on there. Oh, this is a good back. Oh, yeah. That's nice. I'm rubbing my back with my ratchet. Yeah, you needed to see it because that sounded quite bad. I'll talk to you later. Okay, love you, bye. Speak of the devil. Now, where were we missing? Good job. I only mess around. I have 3 recall on my Toyota RS4. Yeah, a lot of people have that for the airbags. There's millions and millions recalled. The dinner's in the dog. Severe recall involved putting a sticker on the heater box and saying don't go near it. I tell you, a lot of the recalls, you'll be surprised they don't actually do anything. The Mazda recall on the stretch timing belts or the stretch timing chains, All Mazda did is reset the computer so it would the light wouldn't come on until it basically blew up. So yeah, the recalls on most of them aren't worth anything. What's my thoughts on Snap-on? Well, it's like everything. They're good, but they're expensive, but they're good. I use a lot of Snap-on stuff. Robbie, again, you know, bit of everything, just practical use in for me anyway. Actually use it. If you want to use an oscilloscope, like I said in a lot of my videos, what you need to do is you need to get a good car that is not broken. Get as many sensors as you can, scope the sensors so you know what it should look like, and then when you get a broken car, when you scope the same sensor, you will know basically what to look for. Obviously there's loads of YouTube videos as well, there's training courses, there's everything, but the best, in my advice, the best thing you can do is buy a scope, you know, just buy a cheap scope, don't have to go anything fancy, build your way up, buy all the stuff, you know, separately, you know, all the different attachments and stuff for it, and scope a good car, a car that, you know, is working absolutely fine. And then when you come to a bad sensor, you're going to be so used to scoping good sensors, you're going to see straight away. And you don't really, it depends what you want to do. If you want to, it's like some of the systems, you don't really need to know how the systems work. If you want to become better, it's good that you know how the systems work. But if you scope a sensor and you see it's not right, you don't really need to know how the system works to a degree. So it just depends how bad or mad you want to go into it, basically. What do I use to clean my tools? WD-40. Sounds like you're next to a motorway. I'm actually not. I'm next to a main road, but it's like 1.5 football pitches that way. But with the way the sound comes in, it does kind of sound like it's a lot closer. Anyone use the auto scope? I've never used it, so I don't know. Going to mark the airbag and actuator before I book it in. I get a free car out of it if they don't. I don't know exactly what they are changing in them, but I know it's a huge recall. It's going to basically, well, it's never going to be done properly in the sense of there's too many that needs to be recalled. Snap-on can't get them to fix. What? Snap-on can't get them to fix what thought, but trying to sell my 12k box. I'll take your 12k box off you, just send it to me. Lee, how you doing? What will do? We'll be doing that with Ditex. What a great price. Believe it. Yeah, the Ditex scope is brilliant for the price. You just cannot complain. And like I said, you can. I'm doing other videos on that, showing you about different leads and stuff. You can get breakout leads and stuff like that, and you can just keep adding to it. And then when you've basically outgrown that scope, you can just get a bigger scope, a faster scope, and all your leads and everything will transfer over to the newer scope. So yeah. Do you have a favourite car like Scotty? Well, I like Fords. I've got my 1.3 Sierra over here. I've got my little Escort just behind you. So yeah, you know, Fords are alright. Snap-on and Milwaukee stuff. Snap-on. Expensive, but sometimes you get a good deal. Yeah, you do. The what did I get on promotion the other day? I got a couple of stuff on promotion the other day, and it was brilliant. You can only find business email. Yeah, don't worry about it, Jack. Just email me there. It'll be all right. Mechanic. If you want a decent scope, check out Spotter. They sell scopes on it takes 14 months to replace a socket. Do you buy a lot off your Snap-on dealer? Maybe you should get a different one. I thought it was a Cosworth, a Cosy. It's a 1.3. No one believes me. It's a little 1.3 Sierra. I don't know why everyone thinks it's a Cosworth. All my Fords are to do. I used to love them being so easy to fix. Dogs are upstairs. Maybe is an expensive back scratcher, but what you don't normally get with a back scratcher, look, see, Facom should learn this. Look, see, with it being an adjustable head, you can actually get. Oh, yeah. Oh. And if you want a longer one, I've got a longer one over there, and simples. Simples. We'll see if I get my long one. You go right down the old back of your crack there. Get right in there. Car exposed. Go. Thanks a lot, car exposed. I have a Sapphire Cosworth. Very nice. Very, very nice. Big grin when you said it's a 1. No, I said it's a 1.3 Sierra, and I said I have a little Escort just behind here. It's just a little 1.3 Sierra. That's not the first time. Is the video full screen? Because on my screen it's not full screen, and I don't know if it is. I'm going to have to work out this program properly and do a better kind of live stream, because I'm still not familiar with it. Have you raced it yet? The Escort, plenty of times. How's the engine going? You can you see it? Hold on, let me move this. Can you see? What can you see? No, just here. Barely can't see it, but that's where the engine for the Transit is. Do. No, it's a 2/3. Wow. Not full screen. Looks okay, but not full screen. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out, because I can stretch it here, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I might have to set it in my camera. If I try and go on my camera setting now, it'll drop out, so I can't do it. But I'll try and figure it out for next time. Oh, sorry, yeah, I just realised. Steve, yeah. See, just too stupid. What's the worst job you've ever done? Oh, loads. Loads. I can't even begin to... I mean, the problem is, it's the little jobs that should only take a few minutes out of the worst. If you get a big job and you have to strip and it takes a couple of days, that's okay, because you kind of know it's going to be a big job. But I did a starter motor on a Jeep today. It was... was it a... Trying to think, what was it? Was it Mitsubishi Jeep? Anyway, it was only 2 bolts, so technically it should only take a couple of seconds, but they're just so awkward, it took like an hour and a half, and that just scratched myself to bits. And they are the most, in my opinion, the most annoying jobs, because they shouldn't be annoying. They should just be quick and easy, and yeah, nightmare. You're welcome. class, box with probes. 2 months. That's handy to know. I spent 130k on my garage lift and tools in the last 2 years. Wow. Well, like I said, if you want a new home for your box, send it to me. I will. I won't charge you to send it to me. I mean, I can't say fairer than that. Citroen C5 brakes, I'd say. What's that now? Lovely French car. They must be talking to yourself. Hi from Pakistan. How you doing? I won't even attempt to try and pronounce your name because I'll just destroy it. Have you got the charger back? Charged by the book time. Is that question to me, is it? Do I charge by book time? That doesn't really happen over here as such. I just price up the job, I tell the customer what it's going to be, and that's basically it. Because the book times, they're not really, well, over here anyway, I wouldn't say they're really that accurate because it depends. You know, like that should only take a certain amount of time, but if you've got a bolt that's been rounded or something like that, you know, the book time kind of goes out of it. Where are we looking now? I remember one job we did on a transit clutch and drive shaft cup. Oh yeah, that was a nightmare. A lot of swearing in that video, yeah. What's the worst accident or near accident in your workshop? Well, I haven't really had any bad ones. Now I say that, and I'm hopefully chop my head off tomorrow. I've had some close calls, you know, where you like drop something and it just misses your hand, or I took off half my thumb. You can't really see; it doesn't look bad on there, but I took off half my thumb the other day, and that still fucking hurts. Nothing really bad. Just close calls. It could have been bad. Close calls. I remember dropping a gearbox once because I was trying just to be too stupid because I do everything on my own. The gearbox was fucked anyway, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I dropped that, and that just missed my leg. It would have hit my kneecap and bent my kneecap. That would have hurt. So that was kind of, but it didn't. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Have you got a history with the van? How do you mean, Jack? Hello! 125. Self-employed versus working for a company, which is better? Well, it all depends on the person. Because me, for example, I don't like people telling me what to do. And I tend to maybe get a little bit, you know, someone tells me what to do and I think that what I don't think is right, I will tell them. It kind of gets me into trouble. Remember the last job I had before I was working for myself, I've been working for myself about 10 years now. It was like 23, 24 when I set up this place. Second day I was in there, had a big argument with the head mechanic. And yeah, he never spoke to me after that. But then he was a fucking idiot anyway. And the same head mechanic who was brilliant, the week before I left, he put 2 clutches in the wrong way. So the springs were hitting the flywheel, and he's supposed to be the head mechanic. So I had a word with him and told him quite nicely what he was doing wrong and why he was doing it wrong and why he was a fucking moron. So for me, working for myself, but that has its own problems too, because you don't always, you know, there's a lot more stress, because if anything happens to this car, it's on my head, and, you know, when you're working with someone, it's just swings and roundabouts. I personally prefer working for myself because I can't work for anyone else. French cars, I know. Book time doesn't work on Rust. No, Rust, yeah, Rust is a nightmare for book times. I suppose it depends where you are. I know it can work for some people. I know Mike, it works well for Mike. He does book time, but again, he's in a very sunny place in America, so he doesn't really deal with Rust that much. My worst inside. Yeah, I've been close to that. I ripped off my nail. I actually put a picture up on Instagram there a few months ago, and I caught my hand in their fan belt. But lucky enough, I managed to get it out. Oh, did you just buy it? I bought the van that way. It was completely rebuilt by a company in the UK, and then someone else got hold of it before me and made an absolute fucking big ear of it. So I'm now trying to get it back to the way it should be. Yeah, no paid holidays. There's a lot of there's a lot of good and bad things about self-employed. I can make more money in one day than I can make for a week working with somebody, but then I might not be very busy for a couple of weeks. So it just depends. It just depends. But if I did work with somebody, we wouldn't have all these fantastic videos. Anyway, it's better to work with yourself if you can afford it in the beginning. It's not really that expensive, really. It depends what you want to do. Here in Ireland, you have to buy all the tools to go and work for somebody. Now, granted, you don't need lifts and time machines and stuff like that, but you still need all the hand tools. Now, if you work in main dealers, they might have the specialist tools, but you still need the hand tools. So if you've got all the hand tools and all you need is lifts and time machines, well, then they're not really that expensive. You can always get a loan and give it a go. So, you know, it just depends. Hi, Mick. It's been annoying my day today because of fucking YouTube doing all the stupid settings wrong, and I couldn't live stream in the way I wanted to. Take care of the rest of it. Yeah, see you later, Steve. Most of the mechanics I heard are looking to bring home 350 a week here. Where are you, Jack? But at least you've got a constant wage and there's no worries. In other words, you can switch off. You don't have to. And people ring me at 10 o'clock. People ring me on a Sunday. People, it's like the YouTube. People don't really realise sometimes. They'll say something or they'll ask me a question, and I've said, for example, this is only for business inquiries, and I get loads of questions on it, and I've stated I'm not answering questions on it. So it's being self-employed is like having your own YouTube channel. It can be stressful. I need to get this thing off my nail. It's really annoying. Blah. Roast of the mechanics. I have seen that. Employed mechanics. Do you have a choice to pick and choose what jobs? Well, of course I do, but the problem is when I'm not busy, I don't have a choice because I have to kind of do everything. I live in a very, very, very small town. There's only maybe 180 people in the town. There's another garage just down the road which needs to close. So yeah, I don't live in a big place. I could be busier. I could move to the city and be a lot busy, but then my overheads go up way too much and I'm working 10 times harder and I'm not making any more money. So, that's the way I just look at it. I can tick over quite nicely. Yeah, I don't know what the average wage is in the UK anymore. But I just know that, yeah, even the last few places I worked to, when you try and get the oscilloscope out, most of them don't like it. All they want to do is, if it says camshaft sensor, just replace it. Because let's be honest, 80% of the time it is just a crankshaft sensor. But there's always that 20% of the time it isn't, and that's where the scope comes in. So I found that to be difficult too, because they don't want to give you the time to diagnose it. Just quickly replace the sensor, and if it's not the sensor, we'll worry about it after that. And like I said, 85% of the time it is mainly the sensor. So, when you're working for someone else too, if you start pulling out stuff like that, they don't tend to like it because they think it's just taking you too long. But again, that all depends on who you work for. I'm talking champagne or rent plus the overheads, especially. Yeah, it's like everything. Depending where you live, depending where you're going to do it, your overheads can shoot up. Just in the nearest city to me, the place I used to work at, they were paying €10,000 a month for rent. 10 grand a month for rent alone. Dan! You're still alive. Yes, I am. That was cool when you fixed the transplant for the people who will travel. That was fun when you fixed the transport for people that travel. The Jimmy, not the Jimmy. What do they call it? A jumpy. The jumpy was it for the Germans? Woo! Well, I don't even know what the friggin' time is. 5:30. Yanis, how you doing? You fat git. I allowed your comments. When did you learn how to use YouTube anyway, Yanis? Where are we going? Do you have a video on... I don't, but I am going to be doing one shortly. But the problem is trying to find a way of doing it without getting into trouble. I can redraw it, but if you redraw it, it's not like real life, and it takes time, and it's just easier if you get... Oh, he's sitting next to you, Dan. So you're teaching him, aren't you? So, yeah, it's just trying to figure out how to do it without getting bloody copyright striked and all that crap again. And if I draw it out, and I draw it out simply, then it won't really be any good to you, because you won't really understand when you see a normal wound diagram. Dan is with me. You're both sitting next to each other on 2 different phones, messaging me. I bet you look like a right pair. Show everyone your windmill. The new tat. Dan wants me to show you my new tattoo, because when I was over there for a week, which I'd never go again, because even watching him for 5 minutes on YouTube is hard enough. Never mind being with him for a week, it's just too much. He was too scared to get a tattoo. He was being a chicken about it. So I just went and got one. And as you can see, well, you maybe can't see it, get it on camera. It's not finished yet. All our names are in it. And it's a windmill from Holland. But Dan was too scared to get one. He was literally crying like a little girl. And you can ask his missus about that. He was too afraid to get one. We did see some great scooters. Oh, fucking hell, the scooters. The scooters. Yeah, a long story, but we did see some great scooters. We did see, when we was over there, some fantastic scooters. Thank you. Yeah, it is. It's like I said, it's not finished yet, but you can see it's all going to be completely finished. Is that touch cake? You really want me to tell them, Dan? What about Bob? Does Bob want me to tell him? I don't want to embarrass Bob. It's okay to be different. Not everyone likes the same thing. Funny. Tell them. No. What do you mean no? You just tell them and then you said no. Is Bob there? I don't know if I can tell the story. It could get demonetized and striked and all that if I tell the story. Poor Bob. It's a long story, but it's a brilliant one. Bob doesn't know. Well, we can't do it if he doesn't know. So I'm just looking at other messages here. More messages. Poor Bob. It was good. Just don't go into... Well, how can I tell a story and not go into detail? You tit. Is that getting really annoying, by the way? Explain that one, Dan. How can I tell the story and not go into detail? I really do like this as a back scratcher. Back scratcher! I think... Would you ever have an apprentice? That's a difficult question. I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because it's awkward. Because you need to spend the time on teaching somebody and then you need to be able to trust them. Because even a simple job like brakes, which is technically a really simple job, but if you get that wrong, you're potentially killing a lot of people. So there's a lot of kind of stress involved in that because, like I said, you potentially are, the people's hands are in your life, because if you do, especially brakes, and they don't work, and yeah, a lot of people can die. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I've often thought about it, but I don't know. Why don't you use working gloves? I always do. Here in Sweden, cars drive salt on the road, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I should do. It's like everything, but the problem is the gloves sometimes get in the way. When you're wrapping around something, they get caught and wrapped. You put your hand in something, you pull it out, it all gets... So your hands still get dirty anyway, but yeah, technically you should be wearing gloves a bit more. I agree with you, but it's not necessarily... it's not necessarily a good thing all the time either. Yeah, it is difficult, isn't it, to think, should I get apprentice or shouldn't I? I don't know. What's the best car to buy for 2 to 3k? Well, it all depends where you are in the world. You know, what sort of driving do you do? Do you do long driving? Do you do short journeys? Because if you want a petrol or a diesel, do you want comfort? Do you want reliability? It just depends what sort of car you want. If you're not really into cars and you just want something cheap and easy to run around, well, you can't really go wrong with a Ford, because yes, they do have the problems, but they're one of the cheapest cars to, they're one of the most popular and the cheapest cars to fix. So, yeah, it just depends what. Can you give me a bit more information what you were doing with it? Long, short journeys, comfort, speed. Are you bothered about cars? You just want something, you know, to run around in and stuff like that. My phone keeps going mental. Hold on. We'll show this. We will show this. Dan and Yasa are looking at me. There you go, look. Hold on. Look at the two. Look at them. I just realised what I did there as well. So yeah. Why should he use gloves? 30 hands is old-fashioned. What do you think of the Monday Mark III 2.2? Well, I've got one of them and I like it. Short journeys in London, well, then you need a petrol. There's no point getting a diesel because a diesel will not like short journeys, especially in London where you only do like 2 miles an hour all the time. So, do you want a kind of a big car or a little car? Ah, yes, yes, get a scooter. Again, that's just another in-joke. You won't get it, but I might tell the story one day. The only thing, though, with getting a scooter is it depends what you're looking at. Only buy diesels because of the fire issues. Common these days for petrol to catch fire. I wouldn't really say it's common. It depends where you live, but I wouldn't really say it's common for petrols to catch fire. If they're not very well maintained, maybe. A little car. Yeah, get a little Toyota Yaris or Yaris or Igo, something like that. Little engine, you can't go wrong. Get a smart car. No, don't get a smart car. So yeah, little Toyota, little petrol Toyota, you'll be fine with that. Alright, I think I'll go if there's no more questions because I've got to quickly wrap up this. Scotty. Oh, Dan. He likes Toyotas. So that's it. That's the lovely brakes on this. And then I'm going to figure out how to actually do this new bloody live streaming software stuff, which is bloody annoying because, yeah, once I get used to it, it'll be alright. So we'll talk to you later, people. Have fun and bye.